There are two real parts of my life. Life before I discovered cemetery, and life after I discovered cemetery.
It's the haunted mound, taking you on another hell ride. DJ Sorrow, turn the fuck
I was first introduced to cemetery through Rainbow Bridge 3, and what a fucking introduction that album was. Cemetery combined loud-ass, abrasive-ass noise music with trap production and Chief Keefy kind of flows, all veiled within the super fun and over-the-top 80s like slasher movie aesthetic that makes this album a goddamn sensory overload, and I fucking love it so much. God's Light Burns Upon My Flesh comes in as the starter track and just absolutely makes you its bitch. Starting with some ridiculous meme-ass samples which lead into its absurd, distorted vocals. And then later on the album you get some surprisingly catchy cuts like Chainsaw Party, Necromancer, and Creepin' Through the Woods. And it's all just so much fun to listen to, and I don't know, it's truly a one-in-a-kind experience. Afterwards, though, my brain needs a sensory break, and all I really want to do is lay down and listen to my tinnitus for a good 15 minutes or so. Rainbow Bridge 3 made me an instant fan of Cemetery and the Haunted Mound rap group in general, with bangers like Buckshot's album, From the hills down to the valley, I remember back when I was happy. But it seemed like Rainbow Bridge 3 was more of a one-off kind of thing, and that the collective mainly wanted to sit in this, what I can only describe as drain gang music, but with the complete opposite energy kind of style, where trap is still kind of a focal point, but the vocal patterns and content make it a different thing entirely. And just in general, I feel like that the cross-section between drainers and cemetery listeners, I feel like the fucking Venn diagram's just a circle. Okay, I've never met a drainer, or I mean a cemetery fan, that wasn't a fucking drainer at the same time. So, there you go. A bit over a year ago, Cemetery released the Screaming Forest mixtape, which I honestly felt kind of lukewarm to for the most part. Some of the songs were catchy, but without the distorted noise gimmick, it felt a little barren to me, especially since his vocals seemed to follow the same exact style for the most part. Every song just tends to blend together. There are definitely some highlights though, such as Willow's, Comma Crazy, Hockey Mask, and Scarecrow. Or Scarecraw, my bad. Silly mistake. Silly me. While his newest mixtape, Butcher House, sadly stays in that opposite energy drain gang kind of sound, my man took this year or so to really refine his shit. His lyrics are actually good instead of just funny. The choruses are now catchy instead of ridiculous, and the production no longer feels as empty and barren as before, to the point where it stands on its own without the noise music crutch. All of this is immediately apparent with the intro track Haunted Mound Reapers, which is just the kind of accumulation of what the Haunted Mound sound really is.
Haunted Mound, bitch, stick that cutter in your damn mouth. Cemetery grave, man, haunted till I'm in the ground. Still in the butcher house, coolin' with the Haunted Mound.
Cemetery goes a cappella in this bitch and goes, Haunted Mound, bitch, stick that cutter in your damn mouth. Cemetery grave, man, haunted till I'm in the ground. And then bam! The bass and these vamp-ass synths come in, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm having a fucking good time. And then my man Hackle, my man, comes in at some slasher-ass bars and just puts a big old grin on my face. Very similar to the first time I heard Rainbow Bridge 3, in fact. Baba Yaga shows that Cemetery is no longer as much of a one-trick pony as he was before, and really does go crazy on that chorus. The chorus isn't just relying on the lyrical absurdity to be catchy, but is actually just a fucking banger. Would I play this shit in the car with the hose? Hell no, but it's a start. Suffer is a showcase of whoever the fuck produces these tracks, 12 inches of fucking pride, with some fantastic production coupled with some great vocal variety and a fantastic buckshot feature. Hollowed Be My Wrist has the lyric True Religion double stitch, I'm rocking at the show. Hollowed Be My Glock, I'm praying for your damned soul. And yeah, it's just bars. It's a posse cut that doesn't overstay its welcome, like what many posse cuts tend to do for me. Clocking in like 3 minutes and 33 seconds, I think. That is just kind of coming from the hippocamp, whatever the fuck brain that remembers shit short term. Just kind of came up. There you go. Hate and Gasoline, as well as Smokin' Out the Grave, are both classic Cemetery songs, but the production has definitely reached its peak, and somehow makes his muddy-ass production style sound bright and jumpy at the same time. I don't know how. Just listen to it and see if you agree, but I swear to God. The guitar riffs are simple, but a nice touch nonetheless in Hate and Gasoline, and we have some spooky synths in Hate and Gasoline as well. All I need is hate and gasoline, and I will ride on forever. While these songs are great, the most unique part is the production, and my brain honestly just tunes out Cemetery's vocals at this point. In the song We Don't Dial 911, though, the Chief Keef influences become much more apparent, where Mr. Grave Guy shows overall songwriting improvement, as well as just more interesting rippity raps in general. I'm a fucking Mound. My brain doesn't tune him out in this song, and the chorus is awesome. So it's a good song. Angel Maker is another song that is just chef's kiss. The song's flows are versatile, and honestly, I just love the bow, bow, bow shit that happens in it. And I don't know. It's just a really funny fucking thing to have on there, and I love it. Burn a Cop Car is one of my favorite Cemetery songs, period, for some very obvious reasons. Burn a cop car, burn a cop car, throw a Molotov, burn that fucking pig alive. Only good cop is a dead cop. This isn't a cop car bar, but come on. Stomp a Nazi till I see the damn white meat. Make them little fucking piggies go wee wee. Fuck a blue line. Hanaholics, rest in piss. It's so fucking good. I love it. And then finally, the album's ending track is easily the most interesting track on the record. It is the most grandiose sounding kind of, it's not like orchestral, but it's a more somber kind of tone that you might even think it's like an emotional track, or like, you know, a deep mental health cut or something with like some symbolic, no, it's literally just about sacrificing a goat. Which is pretty hilarious, but the vocals here are awesome, and you can kind of hear his real voice in the song as well, which I didn't realize I'd enjoy, but I do. And in general, just the slower, more somber Cemetery track is surprisingly enjoyable, and I highly recommend you check it out. It's a very good song. Overall, this album seems like Cemetery kind of flexing his artistic muscles. The production has never been better, and his vocal style has been refined to a really great degree, to the point where the first two Rainbow Bridges almost seem unrelated to what he is now, because the production on those albums come off as flat and just overall amateurish. Meanwhile, Butcher House feels much more like a professional release, where he's really trying to hype up the name. At the same time, the amateurish style was kind of part of Cemetery's motif and charm for me, as the kind of underwhelming vocals and production paired well with the ridiculousness of the lyrics. Anyway, I like the album quite a bit. It's my favorite non-Rainbow Bridge 3 release by far, and I really can only see him getting better in the future. But on the other hand, I'd really like to see something new eventually from Cemetery, or else I don't know how much longer I can be as much of an avid Cemetery fan as I am now, because you can really only make the same song so many times before the repetition kind of catches up to you, and Cemetery might lose traction with his fan base as well in that case. I'd hope for him to rather lean deeper into the rock metal kind of aesthetic, thinking of like Backwash as kind of a main inspiration, or even something more like Black Dresses as a just more heavy, unlistenable kind of experience, or go back to the noisier production, or just like, you know, switch up the vocals more somehow, kind of how we saw in what is it called? Little Lamb. And then I'll be jiving my ass off.